Hello, guys. This one is for every woman who's ever wondered if she should fall in love again. This is for every woman who's looked in the mirror and has seen the reflection of her past instead of the reflection of her potential or what the future could be like. Hola, Josue. Thank you for joining me. If you have ever felt like you're constantly trying to rebuild yourself after being broken, or if, hola Canelita, or if you're trying to reinvent yourself, but you're carrying shame that wasn't yours to carry, perhaps, or if you've ever wondered if you will ever feel whole again, I want you to know something. It is going to happen, and it's going to happen for you. It might not happen overnight. And I know that everybody tells you this over and over again whenever you're going through something difficult, right? Like, give it time, take one day at a time. When you're broken, you don't want to hear those things. But I want you to remember that you're not broken, that you are becoming. And that moment in time is when you're going to be building yourself. Healing does not mean going back to who you were. It means falling in love with the person, with the woman that you're becoming. The one who's risen from the fire, the one that overcame and learned all of the lessons that they needed to learn. Hello, Miss Christine. And I want you to know that if you're here today is not by accident. You were guided here because your healing wants the attention and you want to know the possibilities of the what ifs, the possibilities of, can I fall in love again? Yes, you absolutely can. Today, I want to share with you guys the 3 steps that are going to move you from pain to power, and not just to survive your past, but to fall in love with who you are becoming. That is the person that I want you to fall in love with. You. My name is Karina. I am the founder of Women Who Roar, a movement that has been created to help women heal, rise, and reclaim their power after some of their hardest storms. I know what it's like to have to rebuild yourself over and over again. Not once, but many times. And I know what it's like to keep having to show up with a smile while your soul feels like it's shattered inside. I also know the beauty of what happens when you finally stop surviving and you start loving yourself. Truly, unapologetically, without caring who is going to be on your side or not, without caring who is going to support you or look at you like, why are you loving, why are you so happy? Just you and your healing. If this is your first time joining me, or if you're watching this as a recording, which I know a lot of you guys do later, not live, I want you to take a deep breath and know that you are safe here, that this space, this video, this topic was made for you, and that I thought about it while I was writing my last round of heavy storms. I knew while I was trying to navigate that difficult path that if I came out of it on the other side, it was because I needed to write the recipe book, write the to-do list, put it all together so that I can help those that are going to go through it after me. Hello, Casara Mobongo. To write it out a little easier, a little faster, perhaps, right? There's no way I can take away your pain, but if I can give you the recipe of how to fall in love with yourself again, how to fall in love with the woman you're becoming, think of the what ifs all the time and keep yourself flirting with your future self is going to be so much easier. So today I'm going to share 3 steps to falling in love with yourself again. Step number 1 is going to be to forget and forgive the old you. And this is probably going to take some time. I want you to know that forgiveness isn't about forgetting the things that have happened to you. Forgiveness is about releasing the belief that you should have done something different. Releasing the belief that you have to hold loyalties to people other than yourself, right? Releasing the belief that if you forgive, you're allowing that other person to get away with the things that they did. Not at all. When you've been hurt, especially as a child, your mind tells you stories. Hello, Mrs. Milford. Thank you for joining me, Nisa. So I was telling you guys, when you've been hurt, especially as a child, your mind tells you stories, right? You start creating this narrative. I should have done this other thing. I should have said something. I should have known. I should have been stronger. But you were a child and you were innocent and you did the best that you could with what you knew then, right? The situations that you're put in as a child are not for you to control. They're for your parents or your guardians to control. Forgiving the old you means finally teaching and telling yourself that, or telling the little girl inside you that you did nothing wrong, that you're not to blame, and that you were deserving of protection, not pain. I want you to think of a moment when you were little and you first realized that you were still blaming yourself for something. Not necessarily when you were little and you lived that moment, let me rephrase, but a moment now when you first realized that you were still blaming yourself for something that happened when you were little. Perhaps you realized this during therapy, or during journaling, or simply during a quiet drive home, right? Like these things come up and they pop into your head at the least expected moment. I want you to think to yourself and describe to yourself how heavy that realization felt and how freeing it was when you spoke love to that younger version of yourself. If you had the chance to do it during journaling or during therapy, perhaps it just came up, you realized it, and you're still hung on that blame, right? You're still thinking of all of those I should have. Stop shooting all over yourself. It feels as it sounds. You're literally shooting all over yourself. Allow yourself to talk to a younger version of yourself and allow yourself that forgiveness, that space. It is such a deep and healing moment. In fact, I'm going to share my screensaver with you guys after this session because in order for me to become more comfortable talking to my younger self, to the little girl inside of me, I put a picture of her as my screensaver. Not of my kids, not of my body while I compete, not of a quote that touches my heart. I literally have a picture of myself as a little girl in my screensaver. Why? Because oftentimes we catch ourselves being harsh to the younger version of ourselves. And I want to ask you, have you caught yourself being harsh to the younger you? Or what's one thing that you wish someone had told you when you were little? Write it in the chat or write it in the comments if you're watching this later. And tell me what is that? What are those things that come to your head? Forgiveness isn't a one-time act, by the way. It's a practice. So it's something that you get good at as you continue to do it over and over again, because shame tries to whisper in your ear all the time. Every single time you're going to make a decision. Every single time, hi Bella, that you are ready to make a call, ready to bet on yourself, is going to whisper in your ear and is going to remind you that you were weak, that you should have done something else. Where in reality, all you need to do is answer back, I survived, I was strong, I did the best, I did what I could with what I had, I was little. Every time guilt tells you that you should have known better, or that you should have done something else, respond back to that guilt as that child and say, I was a child and I'm free now, free of that guilt. Because forgiveness is not how you remove, forgiveness is how you remove those chains from the past, right? It's how you break them. Hola, mi Rixa. Hi, Aiden. Thank you for joining me. Forgiveness and breaking those chains of guilt is your first step to taking pain to power, liberating yourself. Is the first step of healing instead of continuing to hustle. Step number 2, nurture the present you. So we already spoke about my past, right? We already spoke about that little girl. We already spoke about that person that you keep shooting all over. Now let's talk about this present you, today you. Nurture that person. Now that we have released the old us, it's time to fall in love with the person that we are right now. Right now. Not when we have the dream body, not when we're feeling stronger, not when we finally do the cold turkey, I'm not going to talk to that person anymore. No, right now, right here, while you're going through your ugly parts, your healing, your not negative traits, whatever it is that's pulling you back, fall in love with this process. And we tend to not do that. We don't like the present, right? Like, we're always thinking of the past. We're always thinking of the future. In the past, we live in depression. In the future, we live in anxiety. But what I need you and who I need you to show up for right now is the present you. So be aware of the fact that the present you is showing up for your healing. She's the one that's making mistakes and doing all the work. She deserves care. She deserves softness. She deserves some room to make mistakes, right? Hola, Angelita. The present you needs you so much. We often forget that healing is not just an emotional process, right? It's a physical process, it's a spiritual process, it's a mental process, right? And you might have one part of your healing down. Oh my God, I'm showing up for myself at the gym, right? This is what I do with my clients day in and day out. I'm showing up physically, I'm healing, I'm feeling strong, and then comes that one trigger that takes you out, and all of a sudden, emotionally, you're an absolute mess, right? There's a lot to it. There's a lot to these quadrants that we have to try and just level out to the best of our ability. It might be 10% in this cup, 50 on this one, 20 on this one, 70 on that one. Amazing. That's also balance, right? We have to relearn the idea of loving ourselves right now and feel safe in our own body, in our own mistakes. Hola, primo. When you've experienced trauma, especially, your body becomes a battlefield, right? You carry this fight or flight sensation all the time where things can trigger you quickly. Either you get really tense or you shrink down, right? You hold your breath. You feel your chest filling up. Identify those movements and nurture yourself as if you were talking to that little girl, right? Teach yourself how to regulate. Teach yourself how to talk to yourself. Tell yourself that you're safe. Literally talk to that screensaver little girl and tell her it's okay. You're doing your best. Look at all you've done. Hype yourself up and give yourself that space. Think of a thing that you can do in order to reconnect with your present you, right? For me, because my love language is physical touch, it has been dancing, right? Not even fitness. I love working out, and that obviously connects me to myself. But dancing has been the one thing that has fulfilled me to the point where I feel like I'm loving myself. Is that combination of physical touch and movement that has gotten me to that. So find something, identify something that can make you help yourself fall in love with yourself again, whatever that is. Try a million things if you have to. At first, you might not enjoy it. At first, you might self-sabotage. I've done it. I've literally left the house and not gone to salsa class. But find something that is going to help you feel free. It's going to help you feel loved. It's going to help you talk to yourself in your own love language. And it's going to be something that is going to be healing. On a daily basis, ask yourself, how do you love yourself today? How do you show love to your body today? She shows up for you today. My body showed up for me today. I didn't have to tell her. When was the last time you had a conversation with her? When was the last time you honored her through the things that you consume? And I'm not only talking about food. I'm talking about the accounts you follow. I'm talking about the people that you allow yourself to share your energy with. I'm talking about the relationships that you allow yourself, the narrative in your head. And when was the last time that you told yourself, your body, your mind, I'm proud of you? Don't worry, I'll wait. To recap this second step of falling in love with the present you,